Welcome back to Paranormal XL. I am your host, Gigi, and welcome back, Mama Mary. She's back from Salem.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, this is exciting. So today we're winging it because I am a fool and forgot all my notes. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to wing it.
But this is part 2 of Salem, so which is exciting anyway.
Oh, Salem.
Mama's back. Oh my gosh, you guys. They brought me back, well, my favorite wine, which is great because I haven't had it in a long time, and a little cauldron. And I'm
baby one.
so excited about that.
Oh, it's super cute. I kind of like it. I should have gotten one for myself.
I love it.
That is cute.
So, tell us everything.
Oh, Salem was amazing. I think, well, most importantly, the traffic is insane. I've never seen anything like it. Like, I told the guy at work to get his race car ready because after driving in Salem, I'm ready to go. I drove once, and I came in third. We're not going to mention that, there was only 5 cars and one lost a tire and the engine blew. But I'm ready. I told him, put me in, coach, because after driving in Salem, it's literally batshit crazy. Where, like, in Michigan, you're coming...
So you didn't take your broom with you. You could have just flew right over. Okay,
I should have.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, like where in Michigan, you're getting on the expressways, they tell you to speed up and go as fast as you can?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not in Salem. You literally are just going to stop and wait for traffic to stop and let you in. And it's funny because when you're on that freeway, it's like 5-lane traffic, and everybody's going at like 50 and 60 miles per hour, then all of a sudden everybody hits their brakes because they're letting somebody in on an off-ramp.
What the hell? Not everybody's got to stop. We merge. They don't know what merging is in the mass.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't think they have time to merge.
That is funny.
It's great.
I now refer to Massachusetts, I said it, as the mass, because it's easier for me to say. So.
Makes sense. No, but it's amazing with so much history, and they do so well at documenting their history.
Yes.
So well. Like, it was just fascinating. And every time you went to a museum, there was just no way you weren't going to walk out of there with the full story and full history. It was just amazing.
That is... I'm still so jealous. Shoot, I was going to say something. History... Oh, when we plan our trip, I really, really, really want to go out for June 10th.
Okay.
Because that's when the first prosecutions took place.
Oh, all right.
So we can talk Dad. We'll be like, hey, we got a surprise for you for your birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah. And when we got back, I told him, I said, did you know that airplane tickets to Salem for a round trip are only $180? He looked at me. He's like, we've been home for an hour. I'm like, yeah. So
you're like, I'm just planning for next time.
Wasn't that drive long? Think about it. You could be there in like 3 hours.
I have more time there.
Yeah.
A problem with that is, I was thinking about that when we plan our trip, is taking our equipment. Because she said, for sure, bring your equipment. Because when they go on the tours, they do allow you to take your equipment with you.
That's
and if
awesome.
we're getting a private tour, even better.
That'll be great. Yeah, I did not want to leave, but I was able to have enough time there to go and see and do everything. The only thing I think, we didn't go to the House of the Seven Gables, and we didn't go to the Essex and Peabody Museum.
Oh, okay.
Those are the only 2 things. I figured I'd save some stuff.
There. I think it's loud, so. Well, no, that's awesome. Yeah, you do have to save some stuff. Did you go to Giles Hill?
Yes.
Yeah, you sent me pictures. Whatever, I just ignored everything you told me the whole time you were gone.
That's okay. I don't blame you. No, that place was amazing, and you wouldn't even really know it's there. It's literally in the middle of a bunch of houses.
That's what Mike was saying. Then also Courtney, that we will be hearing from an interview that I had with her when you were out there. She said the same thing. It's very recent that they found the exact location and stuff.
Yeah, they did a lot of research and through like diaries and things like that, and comparing where were the people that were in the houses, they could see them from their window, but it didn't make sense. It didn't match up to where they originally thought. And the energy is so high there. You literally, you can stand right in front of it, and I could feel them all. Like, I knew this is it. This is where it happened. Yes. And they had the rock there. And so you can just feel the energy. And I turned on my spirit box, and it went, like, off the wall. Like, I've never seen it go off. And, like, especially by John Proctor's memorial part. And what came through was that he was on a list, and there was a panel.
Yep.
And it was like, he made me feel like that they had a list already. And so it didn't matter who was picked. They were just going to pick them because a lot of it was, family name and money
wanted what
and
they
land.
had. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. Courtney did ask me, she said, okay, if there's one place out here, because, since doing the interviews, they like to turn it around on me and ask me questions. I'm like, well, I said, this is going to sound morbid, but I said, I really, really want to go to Gallows Hill. And I said, and then she was telling me about it, and I'm like, I just got the chills even just talking about it, how you said the amount of energy that you got from that.
Huge.
And just... It
was the most energy that I had felt the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I told her, I said, I really... It's not even a what?
You have to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of a need. I don't know. And I mean, I want to see everything.
I drove by the Proctor house. Of course, you can't go in it because it says privately owned.
It is,
but it's an awesome. Just the whole place is just awesome. All the history.
I can't wait for us to go out there because of the hookups that we got, and if we can get into the place that we're gonna try to. Oh my God.
People would be so jealous.
Oh my God. We don't want to make people jealous, though. I was gonna say that too. But that's not what we're trying to do. But to have the opportunity that we might have is an opportunity that a lot of people want to have. Mm-hmm. And if we can get that, I will be forever grateful.
It'll be an awesome experience.
Like, what?
The energy in general is just amazing in Salem. Like the moment you step out of your car and you realize that you're walking on sidewalks and walking by places that have been there for hundreds of years. The house is so close together. The sidewalks are like 3 feet wide. Mm-hmm. They're so old. You could just that history is just embedded energetically in every nook and cranny. Other than the fact that the traffic's crazy and you don't know which street you're on because they don't have signs and you're not sure which stoplight's yours, and some of the stop signs are on the post and you find yourself in roundabouts that you didn't know was there in the first place.
Yep. I say the Eastern Coast is amazing with history. Anyway, because that's where
it's where it all began.
Right, especially like the northern East Coast. It would just be super neat to even just take a drive up and down that coast just to get the feel. And it's so... I've never been there, but I've seen the pictures and videos and stuff, and just so beautiful. I would love to do that. I've been to New York City 11 times. We drove up to Connecticut, then we drove back.
I tried to get your dad to go, but he wouldn't go to New York City or Boston. He's like, it's too busy.
No, we're going.
I said, we can take a train there and just walk.
Well, first of all, you're there.
But we don't know where we're going.
You're there. You might as well do it. See, this is why, when we go, he does need to come. But we need to talk Sean into coming too, so they can just, if they want to hang out at the hotel, more power to them. We won't feel bad for leaving them behind.
Yeah, when I got your dad into the Hilton, I was afraid I was never going to get him to leave the room. He's like, are you sure you got this for the deal? I'm like, yes. He goes, are you sure? The TV was like huge. He's like, I don't think I want to leave.
I'm like, you're like, okay, Sarah, leaving. You're on the next airplane out here.
But that story was funny in itself. Get into the original motel, which I think...
this is a fun one.
Everything happens for a reason, and the universe takes care of you. Because your dad learned a lesson, too. I couldn't believe he said it. But we get to this motel, and we're like, literally, it kind of looked like ghetto-y driving through it. I'm like, right. Where are we going to be staying? Because we picked, as cheap as we could.
Right.
And then when we get there, and the guy tells me that he rented out our room to some guy for an hour, I'm like, oh. Huh. Yeah,
just
so
the guy? Was he there by himself?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't. But super gross. And so we found the place that I was originally wanted to get in the first place, but we could only get it for 2 nights.
Oh, okay.
So we went there and stayed, and then I found the deal at the Hilton. But your dad actually said, I've learned my lesson. He goes, you can't just keep going cheap. He goes,
No.
we wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have had to go cheap. And I said, thank you.
You can go medium with hotels.
Yeah.
You really, really can. Because if you're at a place and you're staying a place that, like, you're going to be out anyway, as long as you have a clean bed to sleep at, you know, and it's
really
okay, and the
matters,
safety part of it, you're good. You really don't need all the extra bells and whistles, the pool, the hot tub, the if you're out and you're planning on sightseeing anyway, you know. But don't go super cheap because you're probably going to bring home bed bugs or stay at something like the Bates Motel or something, then be like, well,
Or stay somewhere where they hired a prostitute for an hour.
Yeah. Well, see, New York City, I remember we tried so many times to find hotels that first time we went out there and got stranded for the 2 weeks. Every hotel was by the hour. I was like, look, I need 8 hours. I need to freaking sleep. Not in my car. Like, are you serious? Yo, bars on the windows and stuff. I'm like, dude, they're all by the hour. Like, except for, like, the real expensive ones. See, I got a good deal the one time I went out there. Sorry, this is off subject. But I got out there. I started crying. It's like, got into, like, this nice hotel. And I'm like, I only have this much money left. I came from Iowa. Because that's when I just moved back home from Iowa. But all my license and everything still said Iowa. And so I just drove all this way. Blah, blah, blah. And it was like a $500 a night room. Okay, I went out there to visit my boyfriend because I was young and stupid, whatever. But I got to experience some cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so, and the guy's like, I'll be right back. I'll go talk to the manager. I'm like, So the guy I was dating at the time was named Mike. He's standing there and he's like 3 feet from me. And he's looking at me like, you're going to pull this off. And I'm like, and he's like, he comes out, he's like, how much money do you have to be able to stay here for the night? I said, $150. I got the room for $150.
That's cool.
This room, it was a handicap room, so everything was, like, really big in it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hell yeah. Like, the whole bathroom was a freaking shower, and it was all, like, luxury. Huge flat-screen TV. California king-size bed. Like, and I'm like, okay, first of all, we're staying in here until they kick us out. And I'm like, because I'm never going to be able to stay in a room like this again. Like, it was so awesome. I got it for $150.
That's a good deal.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway. And that, you see, ladies, that's how you get the good room. You just throw the waterworks in there and just give them a sob story. They can always come down. Shoot. Well, I understand they got money to make, too, but I needed a freaking bed to sleep in. And holy hell. Oh, that room was awesome. Anyway, back to Salem. So, Mama Mary got to go out there and leave me here, as I'm sure everybody knows by now. But there is some more history that we want to get into, just not, you know, have it just completely convo, because we could just keep it completely conversational.
Yeah, we definitely could.
As I said, I had an interview with Courtney Buckley. She is a tour guide out in Salem, which is awesome. So now we got the hookup. She's a very sweet gal.
She was super nice when I was talking to her. Yeah.
And they do the ghost tour, so it's nighttime tours, which is even better. So look her up. I'll put all that information down in the notes. She is also part of East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators. They are an investigative group. There's 15 of them.
Oh,
and they actually, I think they belong in like 3 different states. They're
cool.
very large. So on our news segment, released on Wednesdays, is called 13 Questions with PXL. They are actually our next one up for this coming up Wednesday. So
nice.
Definitely listen to that. They give some good, actually all of them do. All the ones that I've done so far, they give some good advice. It's all different advice. So if you're thinking about starting, or you have questions, or you are starting and kind of want to know what other people do, like, I mean, I interviewed just a family that does it, a crew, just a regular, you know, size crew. I think they had 6 or 8. And then this one, they had 15, you know, so they're all so different, and it's amazing the different advice that they give everybody and how they do things.
Different ways of coming about it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, oh, heck yeah, that's what I wanted to do with the 13 Questions with PXL, was with the Para Unity thing, everybody getting along and listening, and, you know, everybody does things differently. It doesn't necessarily make it right, or may not be right for you. But to even take somebody else's idea and kind of put your own twist, that works for you, that's cool. You know, they're sharing their ideas with you, and that's great. Like, I've learned a whole lot and got to talk to some really awesome people along the way. Like, I'm so blessed. Like, it's awesome. So awesome. So with that being said, here is the interview with Courtney. Okay, so let's welcome Courtney. She is with East Coast Coalition of Paranormal, but one of her day jobs is really awesome, and that's why she kind of gets her own special spot.
So
I
she's
feel
in.
very honored.
I'm so excited. um, she is a tour guide in Salem, and as we all know, Mama Mary and me love Salem. So of course we love Courtney, and I'm just so happy she was brought into our lives. Tell us about your awesome job.
Well, so here I am in Salem. Anybody watching the video can see behind me the Salem Witch Museum. We're getting ready to do an 8 o'clock tour tonight. So I am the head tour guide with a company called Salem Night. And so we are a haunted history tour. We bring you around through downtown Salem, and we bring you to all the historic locations, give you the history behind what you're looking at, but then also the ghost stories, the legends, the folklore, all that fun stuff.
Well, yeah,
So
you gotta
we run every
have
night at 8. Yeah, you need all of it. So we run every night at 8 o'clock, every night of the year almost, except for I think Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
Really?
so if you want to come in sub-zero temperatures, yeah, that'll be me.
I would be there with my broom.
And a shovel, please.
That's right. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, the shovel is the snow tires of the witch people.
Yes, yes. So that's got to get pretty cold for you.
Yeah, this past winter, or the winter before, it was we had people from Canada who were insisting that they come out on the tour in negative 15 degrees. And I was like, no, we're going to sit inside, but that's fine. Sorry,
That's
I'm really
cool.
sorry. I'll tell you all my stories inside.
Right. Oh, wow. I bet a lot of people don't. Well, I know I didn't think of that. Like, we're jamming.
Yeah, this is a motorcycle, by the way. This is what it's like giving a tour, just out in downtown, like trying to talk to somebody in front of a group of people, and you have this passing by, someone blasting some ridiculous music on a motorcycle. Like, what are you trying to prove? Please stop overcompensating. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Well, the music and then the noise of the motorcycle itself.
Right. Like, you don't need both. Pick one.
Right. Are you really enjoying that music? Are you really? Like,
can you even hear it through your helmet? Like, I don't know.
Well, apparently,
I want it.
Yeah, we all want to hear it.
Fun.
Right. So yeah, the with the winters and stuff, I guess that never crossed my mind. I assumed in Salem it was summer or October all the time. 12 months of October.
I mean, I think people are pushing for that. October seems to be stretching out past just the 31 days of October now, but
yeah,
we'll see.
How intense does it get there on the 31st or all of October?
Here on the 31st, so yeah, it's bad.
Do crazy things happen?
Yes. So last year, so not this past October, but the October before that, it was like really nice weather. And the Saturday before Halloween, they estimated that we had 115,000 people visiting, and they packed themselves into one street. So when we're going to take our lunch breaks, it takes like normally 3 minutes to walk from where we are to like CVS, say. And on that day, it took 45 because you were walking literally chest to back the person in front of you.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. And people enjoy themselves.
Apparently, they keep doing it. So
wow.
It's definitely, the people watching is like nothing else.
I'm sure. So I'm sure all of October people are all dressed up and whatnot.
Yes, from 12:01 a.m. October 1st till the very end.
Till the very end. Right into November. October, November. Yeah, I said that right. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So awesome. So do you guys die down, I guess, in wintertime then?
A little bit. It used to be more so, like when I first started, I've been here, this will be my 6th October.
Okay.
And my first year, it died down, and there was a couple of months in the wintertime that, only one tour guide was needed.
Okay.
Or, there was days between when people would sign up for a tour. So basically, if you sign up, we're coming out. So
okay,
there would be days in between. But the last couple of years, we haven't had a break. We haven't had a break at all.
Oh, wow.
So it's been pretty constant, which is great. We love that.
Oh,
and
for sure.
I think there's something definitely different about coming on a tour in October versus coming on a tour any other month of the year.
Okay.
Because October, you get the Halloween spirit, which is great, and everybody loves that, and it's a lot of fun. And not that it's not a lot of fun any other time of the year, but I think it's less crazy in the sense it's less like Halloween-centric the rest of the year, so you can really focus more on what you're looking at, like appreciating the history and
yes,
the somberness, the somber level of it, I think.
right.
Which is nice because you want to remember that while you're having fun, this is all based on something really horrific. So.
Yes, very tragic stuff happened there for sure, but it is awesome how long ago that was, how the impact that it still has with people.
I agree.
That mind blows me.
Well, I talk about that on my tour a little bit too, when it comes to like putting a human face on what actually happened and like why. Sometimes when you just read briefly about the witch trials, you just see the tip of the iceberg. You don't see like how deep this really went and how many people this actually affected and why it is still such a scar on our history.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's one of the best parts about being a tour guide, especially with my company, because we're unscripted, so we get to tell the stories that mean something to us.
Right.
And that we research and what have you. So I can use my voice as a tour guide to bring some recognition back to that and to tell people, you know, that the rest of the iceberg, show them the rest of the iceberg where they may have not known anything about it or may not have thought of it in that sense. And then they leave my tour at the end remembering, you know, that this was a real big deal. And
it certainly was. Right. Well, yeah, that's because essentially when people hear about it, they're like, yeah, I want to go out there. Okay, I'm like that too, but I want to go out for different reasons, which you know. But people are like, yeah, we're going to Salem. And it's not really all, it's not all glorified because something bad did happen. And to be able to remind people of that, hey, this is why this is here. You know, that's sometimes got to be hard. Is it hard for you sometimes to?
Actually, I cried for the first time on a tour the other day. I got really emotional and I didn't expect to, but it was the anniversary of the execution of Sarah Good. And I was telling a story about one of my favorite, my deeply connected, and favorite in the sense of like, it's very impactful for me to tell this story. Right. About Sarah Good and her daughter. And as we were walking to that stop, someone on my tour told me that they were descendants of Sarah Good. So they were on my tour on her anniversary, and I was about to tell this story that was like huge to me. So I said, oh my God, it's such an honor to have you here. You know, it really means the world to me to do this. And I said, I have a story, the next story, we're going to talk about it. And so I brought them to the stop, and I had everybody quiet, and everybody's looking at me and listening, and I started telling the story, and I turned, and she's on my right, and she's looking at me, and I just made eye contact with her, and the heaviness of it hit me, and I just like choked up, and I almost couldn't keep going. Yeah, but I've had people cry and everything when we get to the real nitty gritty of it. Like being a tour guide, I try to remember that like I'm giving you the history, but I'm also here to entertain you. Like that's what you're looking for. Right. So I try to keep as much of it light and funny, and I'm very sarcastic as I can. But then I find that people are very on board with like, we can be funny right now, but when we really talk about this, we're gonna all be really serious and like not make any jokes.
Right, because the stuff that happened was real. Let's not forget about it. You know, we can joke about it, and you know, I joke about it, but I do know what happened there, and it's so sad.
It really is. It really is. And that
don't forget to bring my name up sometime.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't get executed. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. Maybe, but my name anyway.
Well, we're gonna have to. I want to look more into like where you or your name lived.
Okay.
And you know where all of this took place for them, because it's a lot. It's very spread out, but
yes.
I want to see if we can find some places for you that when you come out, we can bring you back to and see if you have like some kind of memory of it.
That would be amazing. Just all the research that I've done myself. Like I said, or take one of the other interview that we had, where I got emotional when I was reading that poem, even in the podcast, and even more. I've always been infatuated with it out there and wanting to learn more and stuff like that. But doing what I do now, I'm able to look deeper into things. Then I get to meet like awesome people like you. And I'm honored to meet you.
I'm honored.
So I think this is just wonderful. Just the connection that Mary and I have out there, and even before we were told our past life readings and stuff, it's just wow.
Well, you know what? I am fully on board with that. I also think just to like get into the juju of it all for a minute. Like,
oh yeah,
there's something in the air currently because the connections that have been just happening lately are crazy.
Wow.
The people that I've been meeting in this field, it feels like it's like building up to something, and like this is amazing. It's an honor to be on this podcast with you guys. Like, it's awesome.
Aw, you're wonderful.
I can't wait for you guys to come out here.
I know. I was just thinking, not a good day, but a time that I would like to get out there is when, like, the first executions happened.
So that would be Bridget Bishop, and that was June.
That is so weird because that's actually what I, like, put down in my goal calendar. I got, like, a calendar for everything. Was in June.
Yeah, so June's a good time to go.
Was it June 10th, right?
Yeah.
It was 2 days after my dad's birthday.
Yeah. And then the next set were for a little, I think the next ones were August. I'm super dyslexic when it comes to numbers, so dates oftentimes escape me, but I believe it was August for the next one.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. July for the next ones.
July? Yeah. I should know that too. It's been a long week already and it's only Tuesday.
Yeah, same. Yeah, if you could edit that last part out.
I know, right? I know, I feel like, well, I'm just so excited, and then seeing where you're standing and stuff, that's so awesome. Yeah. Like, you're right there, right now. And I'm sitting on the bench here, but I want to be there.
You're here in spirit.
That's right. I'm everywhere.
Here on my phone.
That I am. So, do you ever get tired of your job doing that?
I don't get tired of this job. Sometimes I get a little bit burnt out because this is not my only job. So sometimes the burnout from my other job.
From the other 46.
Life, right. Mm-hmm. Or just life in general. Like, today's a tough day. Today is going to be a tough day to rally and get out there. But usually what happens is, because I love it so much, that as much as I drag my feet right before, the second I'm like, hey, I'm Courtney, I'm your tour guide, boom, it clicks on, and I'm like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, my God. I would be a hot mess all the time. Be like, oh, my God, and look at this, and look at this.
Yeah, well, having raging ADHD does not help when you're a tour guide. I'll give you that. So, like, when things happen, like the motorcycles with the loud music, I'm like, so in 1692, squirrel, what? Where am I? And then I don't remember. I have to, like, get back on track 12,000 times.
You need one of those megaphones.
I have a microphone.
Oh, do you?
Like, it's like a Britney Spears mic. It comes down in front of me.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's attached to a speaker, so I have one.
You ever say, oops, I did it again?
I tried once to actually sing the Hocus Pocus song when we were walking to the Hocus Pocus stop. And, like, you know when Sarah Jessica Parker sings Little Children? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, we're going to go to the Hocus Pocus stop. And then I like, sang it, like, beckoned to them, and they all looked at me like I had 12 heads. And I'm like, so you told me you've seen the movie. Obviously, that was a lie. Like, thank you.
We are going to sing that when I come out there.
Can we? Can we wear hats and do it?
I'm wearing a hat the whole time.
I'll get us extra microphones.
And then I'll be like, clearly you don't know who I am.
Clearly. Allow me to introduce myself.
I was
What's
born
up, witches?
That's right. I've been here since the 1600s. Growing with the times. Oh, that is great. Oh, my gosh. That's so awesome. So how long do your tours last? Like, is it 8 to what?
So it's about, it really depends on how the group moves and what the traffic is out there. But so it's usually between an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes. Most of the time it doesn't go over, or it should not go over an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes if my groups are
Never
really
had
good and they ask a lot of, if they ask a lot of really good questions, I hold them hostage and then we...
Oh, heck yeah. Well, that's got to be a little more fun, though, when you can actually, when you're getting the good questions and whatnot.
It is. And I like it when there's kids on the tour and the kids ask really good questions, because it's, to see them engaged like that is really great.
Oh, yeah.
And we do private tours, too. So when you have a private tour, you can sort of tailor it to your tour group. So I had one of my very first private tours I ever did, like 5 years ago, was a family. It was 4 or 5 people, and the 16-year-old daughter, it was her 16th birthday, and she was like the biggest fan on earth of Hocus Pocus. So they had me call them, asked for their call them at the time. So I called and I talked to the dad, and he was like, "Listen, she's the best kid in the whole world. She never asks for anything. This is her biggest. Is there any way we can do something special for her?" And he was so like just wanted his kid to have a good time and like wasn't like pushy or like anything like that.
Right.
And this was in October, so I'm sure they paid a good chunk of change for this. But
right.
I said, of course. So on my way in, I stopped and I got her a Halloween cupcake, and then I got her a couple of things from our shop, and I held everything in a bag. And then when we got to the Hocus Pocus stop, we sat there and we sang her happy birthday, and I lit her a candle on a cupcake and whatever, so that every time she watched the movie from there on, when she saw that scene, she would remember that on her 16th birthday, she was sung happy birthday right there.
That is the best.
It was really cool.
That is awesome. What is your favorite location out there, like on your tour route? What's your favorite spot?
I think one of my favorites is St. Peter's Church.
Okay.
So when you look at the front of St. Peter's Church, first of all, it's gorgeous, gorgeous stonework, and it's got this tower that just like juts up into the sky, and every once in a while the moon falls in just the right way that it's like right behind it, so it's really cool. But when you look at the front of it, there's headstones on either side, and they're really like condensed really close together. And the story behind the church is actually that there are bodies buried underneath the back portion of the church. So the headstones were actually moved forward when the church was originally constructed, and they built the church right over the actual graves, which is really cool.
Wow.
So that's a fun one for a twist. And then one of my other favorites is, because people don't know that this is coming usually, is that we talk about the old Salem jail, which has a bar in it now, and
really?
condos. Yeah, it's really cool. We'll take you there.
Oh yeah.
But it was actually the inspiration for the Monopoly jail on the get out of jail free card in Monopoly.
Really?
Yeah. Which
wow,
is so
I'm gonna
cool.
learn so much when I come out there. Oh my god.
Can't wait. So that's a lot of fun. That's a fun story though.
Oh my! I bet you're full of fun stories.
I like to think I am.
Yes. You'd be such a fun tour guide. Oh my gosh. Now, is there any place like out there that you guys don't stop that you wish that you did on the tours?
I really wish that we could. There's a couple places actually. I wish that we could go to the execution location, but that's way too far out of our range.
Okay.
You really have to. It's really not even, unless you're really ambitious, walking distance from where we are. You have to get in the car and drive.
Got you.
So I wish that was a little bit more accessible. And I just, it would be nice if we could spread out a little bit, because I feel like there's just so much more than what we can fit in an hour and a half tour, or that we can accomplish by walking. You know what I mean? So it's not really anything that we could actually do anything about. But if our tour was, instead of an hour and a half, if our tour was 4 hours, we could do a lot more with that. But probably not a lot of people are paying for 4 hour tours. So.
Right. I would.
I mean, you and I can do that on our own, but.
Right. Oh my gosh. That is just so awesome.
It's really great. I can't wait to show you.
Oh.
And that's the best part of it all, honestly. Like, I get so excited to show all of these people, because you have people that are here, and they're coming from literally all around the world.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure.
And they've read about the history, and they've never been here to see it. And I've had the advantage of growing up here. Like, I've had this at my fingertips my whole life. But I get to be the one that gets to show you all of this. Like, that is huge to me.
Yes.
And when I get descendants who come on the tour, that is, to me, like, that sobers me right up out of my, like, oh my God, this is so cool, too. Like, oh my God, like, what an honor. Like, this is my responsibility now. Like, this is, I have to take care of these people and show them what their ancestors went through and how serious and how much that it makes me realize how small I actually am in the grand scheme of things, but that I can have a part in all this is amazing.
Well, that's awesome. Oh. So you're outside of the Witch Museum. What's in the Witch Museum?
So the Witch Museum is, I want to say, one of the oldest attractions here. It was one of the things that I came to see when I was 6 and I came to Salem my first time. So basically when you go in, it's like they have like life-size dioramas set up around the room, and they're like not wax figures, but like they're like mannequins.
Okay.
And they tell you the story of the witch trials through the mannequins.
Okay.
So it's really like the token touristy thing to do.
Right.
It's a beautiful building too. The building itself, I think, what was it? There was a video game, Fallout 4.
Okay.
Did a level in Salem, so this building behind me is in that video game.
Okay, I'll have to ask my son about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other reason why I thought this would be a good having nothing to do with the actual witch museum itself, is that across the street from me is the Salem Common, which I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can show you. Oh yeah, I can. Hold on. So there you go. There's the Salem Common, and you can see the touch of truck that's going on over there right now, which I'm trying to avoid. But
okay.
Right there where you're looking on the Salem Common, a couple of weeks ago, we had Adam Sandler here filming a movie.
Oh, awesome.
So it's a movie about Salem at Halloween, and it's going to be a Netflix movie. So he actually had that whole portion that you were just looking at of the Salem Common blocked off, and the cameras were facing the way the camera's facing right now. So
right.
The Witch Museum was behind them. So I figured it would be a fun spot. You can watch the movie now, and you can see this. So
Yay!
You were virtually here also. But we got to come out. They had the set up for a couple of days before they did filming, so we got to come walk around on the set. It was really cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a movie filming when you come. They're always filming.
Oh my God.
Before that, we had Chris Evans here, and I thought someone saw him on my tour, and I screamed. It was great. Super. I have no shortage of embarrassing moments on my tour, which is just lovely.
That is great. That's the best. You want to make it memorable for people that come out.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's more memorable than I intended it to be.
That is great. Oh my gosh. So have you ever had people try to, I want to say this without offending anybody because I'm clearly a huge fan of witches, being one and all. People come out and try to do a seance maybe? Maybe that's not the word. Do weird things. Maybe not weird, different type of things. Why they're on a tour or even you just see out there.
Yeah, so not so much on a tour. I'd say people come here to do things like that. There's also actually a tour, the Witch Walk, that does a spell before the tour. Which is, it's different than ours. They talk about different things, but it's not unheard of to do things like that. And I think probably the weirdest thing that, so accelerate right in front of me. Probably one of the, or not even that it's weird, but one of the more out of the ordinary things that happens on the tour, but is completely welcome, is that people bring their equipment, which is great, and I love that. It can sometimes get a little bit distracting if people don't know what they're doing, but I try to incorporate that into the tour. So if someone brings equipment, I'll have them stand next to me, and I'll explain to everybody how we use it, and then I'll let them use it, and then everybody can feel like they're participating.
Right.
And then, sometimes people will use the apps. I will never forget this. I was standing actually in front of St. Peter's, and I had these people that were using the app, and every time something came up on the app, they would scream, which is great. Which I find it's super entertaining when that happens. I think it's funny, but so they're using the app, and it's one of the ones that shows you I think it mimics an SLS camera, and then it also at the same time does the obvious, the words and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, let's not even talk about how little I believe in phone apps for this, but
I know. Well, being an investigator, that's got to be hard to do because I know it's hard for me when I see people. Well, I got this phone app. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, they had this app, and they were using it. They're having a great time. And you know what? If you're enjoying, I make my points pretty clear about debunking and everything else at the beginning of the tour. But if you're enjoying it, you're having a good time. Who am I to say anything about it? Right. So I was standing in front of St. Peter's Church, and they were standing in front of me, and they had this app on me while I was talking. And I started having this coughing fit that I just could not seem to recover from. And it was I was choking on something. I'm pretty sure a bug flew in my throat or something. While my mouth was wide open. But I could not recover from this. And they just are horrified for 13 minutes. They were I can't believe what I saw while you were doing that. It kept saying choking. And it was saying, it had a thing next to it that said malevolent, this, that. And I'm okay, but it probably heard me coughing.
Yes.
But sure, yes, I was being attacked by a malevolent spirit in front of you on tour. I enjoyed it.
I just want to make sure you get your money's worth, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, great. If that's what's happening, I'm all for it. Good stuff. I will let if they want to come attack me for your enjoyment, by all means. That's
cool.
Totally great. As long as you don't follow me home, I will put on the show. I don't care.
That is great. Now you do know when we come out, Mary and I, we will have our equipment.
Please bring all of it.
And so I'm because Mary's plane tickets aren't that much out there. It's $180 for a round trip, which really isn't that bad. But I'm I'm pretty sure they're not going to allow all of our equipment Like, that will make
ship
some...
it to me first.
Right?
And then I'll pick it up, and then I'll meet you at the airport with it.
That'll make a lot of things go off there at the airport. Like, look, we're just ghost hunters. We don't want to, we mean no harm. We come in peace. But I bet there's a lot, like, when we sit down and start, like, actually, what is it? Not scheduling, but planning the trip, sit down and look at the cool places that we can stop on the way, you know, make it a whole thing. You know, I don't want to miss anything. We have the opportunities, you know, getting out there, having the little adventures on the way there, and then having, like, the most badass adventure while we're out there.
Well,
yeah, so I'm, like,
absolutely.
So excited.
That's amazing. I can't wait. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, like I said in the podcast, I had to send her out there so Salem could be ready for me when I come out there. Whoa. Yeah. I only may be 5'2", but whoa, you watch out.
Good things come in small packages, so.
That's right. I am full of glitter, sparkles, and fireworks.
Right, nice. We need all of that.
Heck yeah.
Bring it on.
So, so you've been doing that for, you said 6 years. Yep. What got you into it?
Being born, I think.
Right.
Yeah, so I've lived in haunted houses my entire life. I was always open to it. And I think I said this before when we were talking, but I was lucky enough to grow up in a family that fostered it. Like, they didn't squash it. They just accepted when I would say weird things. It was fine. So it never got squashed out of me in its entirety. And so when I was 6, my grandmother brought me to Salem for the first time. And I was so excited that I got to go on this special trip. And I took out all the easy reader books about Salem. So and it was like 18 pages long. But I read all about it, and I thought I was an expert. So she brought me to see like the Witch Museum and Cry Innocent, which is the live action recreation of the trial of Bridget Bishop. Really awesome. Definitely have to go see it. Yes. And I was so into it that during Cry Innocent, I asked so many questions and was like so involved in the audience participation portion that they accused me of witchcraft and sequestered me to get me to stop talking. And now they pay me to talk about it. So it's great. But
that is awesome.
Yeah, it was my dream job for 10 solid years. And I guess I didn't really know how to get into it.
Right.
And I didn't realize it was simply as easy as taking the test and getting hired. I thought you had to have like that golden ticket that someone somewhere had to, like, you had to know somebody or whatever. But no, and there it was. They posted an ad on Facebook for looking for new tour guides, which is something probably similar to what I'm going to be doing this coming month. But I applied, and the rest is history. And here I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. So, like, when you're...
Sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
I was going to say the best part of it really is, as much as I love my job, is how much I love the people that I work with, too.
Oh, for sure.
Very instantly, we became a very close family. And we, like, celebrate Thanksgiving with each other every year with Friendsgiving. And, like,
I know,
yeah, I know that if I was ever in need of anything, that I have a crew of people to back me up. And I love them.
That is great.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
That is awesome. So, like, when your family comes to visit you, do they, like, you're going to take us on this tour?
It's more like, I'm like, so like, why have you not seen my tour yet?
So they're nothing like me.
No, not really. They're like, do I have to? I've already seen it. I'm like, yes, I try something different now. But I will say, if you can entertain this for a second, my 9-year-old, Nathan.
Hi, buddy.
Hi. He sometimes is my junior tour guide. He comes out with me on tour.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah. Sometimes as a mom, babysitters are, endangered creatures.
Yes.
So,
yes.
When crisis happens, people can't come in, and you're the manager. You guys step up and cover the tour.
Well, that's great that you have a job that you can do that, and he can be involved with something so awesome.
Right, and he loves it. Like, he absolutely loves it. He brought his notepad to take notes right now.
Oh.
He can't wait to go. Yeah, and he likes to dress up, and, like, he's on TripAdvisor. He's very impressed with that. And he's got he got tips a couple times, which is great.
That is awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, and he, to sit here and listen to him, sometimes he'll say, well, I want to be a tour guide, and when I have a tour, I'm going to say this. And just the fact that I wanted that so bad for so long, and to see my kid who I'm so
for sure.
proud of all the time, say I want to be a tour guide, or when I have my tour, it's like, wow.
Well, yeah, and he's sponging up all that history.
Oh,
He
yeah.
knows so much and doesn't even know that he knows so much.
He
that
knows
is
he
so
knows
awesome.
it. Oh, he knows it. He could tell you the story of Giles Corey right now if you wanted to. He knows that one.
I love it. Oh, that is so sweet. Aw. Now, yeah, we're like best friends now, so.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Yep. Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yep.
Witches and brooms. I had to change up, the words.
I loved it. My favorite.
That's great. So you don't start work until 8?
Well, actually, we do check-in starting around 7:30. So.
Oh, okay.
But I'm about a 3-minute walk from where I need to be.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now, how do people inquire about getting a tour? Like, let's say I wanted to get one from you, and I was like, hey, yo, I need one from me.
Yeah, well, aside from requesting a private tour that you'd have to pay for a private tour, you can't really necessarily request a guide. In the off season, it's a little bit easier because you can always say, like, hey, I read about this guide online. Are they working tonight?
Right.
And when it's time for check-in, you can say, hey, is this guide working tonight? I read the reviews online or whatever, and I'd like to be with them.
Oh, okay.
And we try to accommodate that as best as we can.
For sure.
Especially, like, when I'm doing check-in, like, I know people come and they're like, you've read all these great things and you think you're going to connect to a guide more than another, and you really want to enjoy that experience. So if that guide's working and they haven't gone out yet, and I can just put you off to the side for a minute and then throw you with them, fine. Like, no problem.
Right.
So we do the best we can with that. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to accommodate when the crowds are bigger, or obviously if the guide isn't here or what have you. But
right.
We try to do the best we can. But if you go, you can get tickets any number of ways. You can go on the website. It's Salem Ghost Tour, SalemGhostTours.com, and you can also go on TripAdvisor. They sell tickets through TripAdvisor, through like Expedia, I don't know, all the online things.
Okay.
Or you can actually call the store. So it's the store is Remember Salem, and if you look up the Salem Night Tour, you can find the phone number, and you can book right over the phone too.
Oh, okay. People still do that? I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. The phone never stops ringing.
Wow.
Yeah. And we run rain or shine, like lightning and thunder. The other day, a couple weeks ago, halfway through my tour, lightning and thunder and pouring rain. And everyone was looking at me, and I'm like, what? It's liquid sunshine. Let's go. We're still out here.
Let's go. You have to learn. You paid to
drowning,
learn.
But my speaker still works. It hasn't electrocuted yet, so we're going.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, so we love it.
That is awesome. So how many tour guides do you have?
How many tour guides do I have? I have 4 plus myself that are on a regular schedule rotation.
Oh, okay.
And then I have like 3. Right now, I have like 3 or so more that if I really needed something, if we had too many, or we had a private tour or whatever, that I could call in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna be sitting down to figure out what we want to do as far as October, because we always bring in more guides for October, so we can accommodate as much.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Come on now. So that's gonna be opening up in a little bit. So if anybody is listening to this or watching this and is from this area and wants a job, keep your eyes peeled for that. So
yes.
I would be the one to reach out. So you'll hear from me.
That is awesome. I may have to take October off of my job. I'm all like,
Will that work? Let's do the calculation.
They did when I started this thing. My boss came out and was like, are you going to need some time off from work, like a leave of absence? I'm like, whoa, buddy, not yet. I'll let you know. I should go to
now. Yes, I do actually.
Yeah, I need to go to Salem. He's been talking to me yesterday and today about Salem, and I was like, what? Like, he came up to me and was talking to me about it. I was like, this is interesting. Like, yeah, it was kind of cool. We don't talk like a whole lot at work, but for him to ask me questions about I don't know nothing about nothing. I just know I want to go there. But he was asking me about, the Proctor House and stuff like that. And I was telling him how I had the interview with you and whatnot. And I was like, I'm going to go out there sometime. And he was talking about some movie about the Proctor House. There's a movie and a play.
The Crucible?
Yes. Oh, I forgot to ask him when I left. Because he was like, You need to watch that. And I'm like, thank you.
The Crucible, while wonderful, is also the bane of my existence because they use the people's names, but it's complete historical fiction. So everyone comes here and thinks that what happened in the Crucible is what actually happened, and that is
not what happened. I've never seen it. I can't believe. I was like, what? So I
was forced to read it in elementary school or middle school or something. Yeah, it was on the syllabus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it's a classic piece of literature.
Right.
Probably if this wasn't my job, I wouldn't feel as strongly as I did about it. But
right.
It's tough when people don't realize that it is historical fiction because and I don't blame them. Like all the names are the same, the people are. So then you're taking these real people that I feel so connected to. I feel like this is like such a negative opinion, and I don't mean it that way, but like all these people that like I feel really connected to, and then you're telling these stories about them, which is great, but like telling them in such clearly a great way that people believe that to be the fact when that's not what happened.
Right. Yeah. People.
Apparently the Crucible is the hill that I'm going to die on today as a tour guide.
Oh no! I'm like, why would you say that?
Well, no, like this is what I choose to like stake my little flag on today.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
My big opinion of the day.
Oh, gotcha. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, yes, like I said, it's been a long day, a long week trying to get ready for the live and stuff. I wish I wasn't so far from Salem for so many reasons. Go. I know, just if you leave now.
I wish I could.
That would be great. When I do get to come out there, it would be sweet to find a place maybe to schedule a live to do out there.
Yeah, you definitely should. I'm sure there's no shortage of places around here that you could use.
Right. I'd have to pick your brain though, because I'm not out there to know of places or whatever.
I will.
You might have to be my Salem assistant. I'm gonna call you my Salem assistant.
I'll need a business card, but I'm in.
Cool. I can do that. That is awesome. Well, thank you for sharing with us your awesome, amazing job and what goes into it. Thank you for
giving me a platform to share it on. If you guys ever want, anyone to ever show you around Salem, or if you ever have any more questions, or you ever want to talk again about any of this, always I'm here, and I'm happy to do this with you guys.
Awesome. I'm sure I'll message you later.
Yeah. Talk to you in 5.
Right? Off camera. But I will. Hopefully you got plenty of time to gear up for work and stuff like that. So, okay.
You are the best. Thank you. Like,
you are the best.
I really do just want to thank you because, as silly as it sounds, I love podcasts so much. I know I said this to you the other day, but I want to say it again. I love podcasts so much. And it literally is what gets me through my sometimes really long journey to Salem. Yes. And my dream has been to be on a podcast. Like, I literally imagine all of these, I'm listening to these people, like, what questions would they ask me if I got to be on the podcast? And it's never been even remotely a reality, so being able to do this is literally, like, just my next dream coming true. So
well, it's been my honor to ask you questions.
Well, I'm happy to answer them. And
you have an amazing life.
You do.
No, I'm so busy. We're all like, no, you're wonderful. Like, no, you're wonderful.
I'm tired and I can't figure it out. Like, is it mine? Is it yours? Who's in it? Oh. But yeah,
it has been great fun, and we will actually talk to you tomorrow with the investigations interview. So,
yep, East Coast Coalition of Paranormal Investigators.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
But I needed to give Salem and you your own spot. That's why I wanted to separate it a little bit so we can overpower the other thing. So,
yeah.
All right. I will talk to you later, and you have a wonderful night at work.
Thanks. Sure will. I'll probably talk about this.
Yay!
Woo! So you'll get a bunch of new subscribers tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Paranormal XL. Yeah.
Woo! Oh, my son wrote it down on his notes, Paranormal. He heard me say Paranormal XL, and he wrote it down.
Oh, okay, he's in charge of that, making sure.
Yeah.
I need to get you some cards out there so he can pass them out.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I'll talk to you a little bit, but thank you so much again, and I'm always here if you need me.
Awesome. Will do. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we're back. Oh, another thing. Mama Mary and my father brought me my favorite wine, actually, from Salem, and it's been so long since I've been able to have this wine because there's only a few stores in Michigan that I can find it.
When I saw it, I had to get it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, great, they went in town and got me my favorite wine. No, it came from Salem, which was awesome, and they put a cork in it.
I know.
They fancied it up.
In a nice way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in a good way. That's for sure. Hey guys, it's Gigi. After uploading this episode and including everything that I wanted, it kind of turned into 3 hours, so I'm going to cut it into 2 parts. We will end this episode with a clip from the History Channel, and remember, don't yuck someone else's yum ever.
January 1692, and there is trouble in Salem village. The minister's daughter and niece are exhibiting bizarre behavior. The village doctor says the girls are bewitched, but by whom? Reverend Paris orders prayer and fasting to counteract the witchcraft, but the girls' strange behavior continues, stopping and starting unpredictably for weeks. Over 3 centuries later, it is difficult for us to believe that the children's fits were induced by invisible witches. But if they weren't bewitched, what was going on?
Children in 17th century Western society were not so much objects of affection within a family as they were sources of labor and young sinners who needed to be disciplined into good behavior.
We go astray as soon as we are born. Undutiful children are the children of Satan. And unto Satan they shall go into the everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels.
We can interpret it as children who are very deeply affected by concern for the ultimate fate of their souls. It seems to be a not usual but not unusual kind of pattern.
But not all agree with this explanation. There are some who believe the girls' fits were triggered by poison.
There's a theory that poisoning as it occurred in Salem is basically due to contaminated rye that led to hallucinogenic effects and all sorts of physical symptoms.
Ergot is a type of fungus that grows on rye. People who eat bread containing this fungus have been known to experience nervous dysfunction. But the ergot poisoning theory has been refuted by scientists and others.
Some of them should have died from it, and the fact that 1 minute they're perfectly well behaved or at least perfectly normal in their physical appearance and asymptomatic, and the next moment they're having their fits or whatever, are inconsistent with the symptoms of convulsive ergotism.
The afflicted in Salem throw their fits in unison at convenient times, such as when people come by to see them. This fact has led many to believe that the girls were simply faking it. But if the girls are play acting, it is a deadly game. They could be accused of witchcraft themselves and hanged. Pressured by Reverend Paris to name the witch whose specter is attacking them, Betty Paris and Abigail Williams point to an obvious scapegoat: Tituba. Documents describe her and her husband as Indians. They are slaves from Barbados. She is dark-skinned, dark, like the Puritans' mortal enemies, the Wabanakis.
And the news came from York about the Indian raid, not all that far away, and people must have been terrified.
Soon after hearing news of renewed Indian attacks, Mercy Lewis begins throwing fits, just like Betty and Abigail. Junior, age 12, Anne's mother, age 30, and Anne's cousin, Mary Walcott, 17. All are now acting bewitched. And it's spreading.
Salem Village is a very small community, and all the afflicted would have known each other very well. There were little girls, there were teenagers and 20-somethings, and then there were some married women who were also afflicted.
who is bewitching them, several of the newly afflicted also accuse the minister's dark-skinned slave, Tituba. Since the younger girl's accusations cannot be used as evidence in court, these new accusations by adult witnesses are critical.
Witch! I will beat the devil out of you!
Now, legal action can be taken against Tituba. A terrible machinery has been set in motion. It will take 20 people to their graves.
This is